Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. Defining discipline is a lifestyle, a mentality, and a brand. And within this podcast, we're going to focus on self improvement as you follow along with me on my journey. We'll also hear from special guests of all walks of life on this podcast and their remarkable journeys that led them to where they are today. Today is day 232 of my journey. At the beginning of the year, I challenged myself to run 365 days in a row, all outside, bearing the elements, whatever they may bring. I also challenged myself to run 1,500 miles within this time frame. Now, this is my second year ever running. Within the first full year of running, at the age of 31, I was able to run 1,002 miles. I did that within 175 days out of the year in 2020. So me going for 1,500 miles is over a 50% increase in the amount of miles as opposed to last year. And me going for 365 days is over a 100% increase in the amount of days as opposed to last year. Also within this time frame, I've challenged myself to run two big races. One of those races being a 50K trail race, 31 miles. I got that finished on June 5th. That was the Yankee Springs 50K trail race out in Middleville, Michigan. That was day 156 of my journey, and I was able to keep the streak alive since that as well, as you know and can tell. So got that done in 7 hours, 15 minutes, and 22 seconds. So I am officially an ultra runner, and looking forward to running some more ultra races within the future. But the next race I actually have lined up is just a normal marathon, and that will be in October. That is the Detroit Free Press Marathon, and I'll be running the Motor City Challenge of that marathon, which entails me running the competitive 1 mile and the competitive 5K the day before the actual marathon. And like I said, that is in October, and really looking forward to that. I kind of tapered off this past month here in August. We'll talk about miles here, but I'll probably gonna try to pick it back up a little bit here in September, and then towards the end of September, beginning of October, kind of slow down and taper the miles again to get ready for that actual race. Other than that, let's actually talk miles. So today, like I said, was day 232. I got out there again today and kept it nice and short and sweet. Got out there and put in 1.5 miles for the day. That put me at 12.9 miles for the week, a really small week this week, which put me at 66.5 miles for the month, which put me at 1,069.3 miles for the year. So let's focus in on these monthly miles. Every single month, I challenge myself to do a 100-mile challenge in honor of a charity in which I donate money to, and I also start a coinciding fundraiser to try to raise money and awareness for. So for the first 7 months of the year, we were able to raise money for and awareness for 7 great charities. Now we're sitting here within the 8th month, the month of August, and we're raising money for yet another great charity. The charity for the month of August is the National Psoriasis Foundation. I chose this charity this month for the month of August because, one, the month of August is Psoriasis Awareness Month. And for two, psoriasis is something that I have and I've actually dealt with for a majority of my life. So I thought that would be a good charity to choose for this month to try to raise money and awareness for. So if you would like to donate to this month's fundraiser, you can find the link to do so on the Defining Discipline Instagram story or the Defining Discipline Facebook story, or my personal pages, Instagram or Facebook story. Within those stories, you click on the link, it'll open up the Facebook page where you're actually able to make your donations. All donations that get made to this fundraiser go directly to this cause and charity. Facebook is not taking any portions of your donations. I do know times are kind of tough though, and not everyone is actually able or can afford to donate right now. I get that, and if that is the case, but you would still like to help out, the next best thing you could do is just click that share button and ask other people to share it as well. We're trying to raise awareness as well as funds, like I said, and the best way to do that is to get as many eyes on it as possible. And I'm only friends with so many people only follow this page and this podcast. So to get it out there more, I need your guys' help, and you can do that by clicking the share button. Um, it helps out tremendously, like I said, because we are raising awareness, and maybe someone that sees it on your page, maybe they'll come along and they'll donate. So who knows what we can do, guys, but I just need some help by clicking that share button. So if you guys can donate, great. If you guys can help share it, that's even better. Not even better, but that's just great as well. They're both great, especially if you donate and share it. That's even better. Um, so, like I said, hopefully we can raise some money and awareness for the National Psoriasis Foundation this month. Other than that, I had been trying to read every single day. I've fallen off very badly, but I still didn't get any reading done today, so I can't talk about it. But I think I'm going to tonight. I think I'm going to fall asleep with reading. I think I'm going to try to really cut out watching something or listening to podcasts. I really need to get back into reading and trying to do more of that. So hopefully I can get back into that. We can kind of talk about that in future episodes. But something I have been also doing besides reading, I have been doing because I hadn't been reading. This is something I actually have followed through with a majority of the time. I think I've only missed one day since I've started it, is the word of the day. And I've been doing that as well, kind of with the reading idea, because I want to, one, expand my vocabulary and just become a better speaker, and just like expand my vocabulary, learn new words, and be able to just become better overall. And the way to do that is to learn new words. So we are following the actual Merriam-Webster dictionary words of the day. I'm not going out and just picking random words, whatever the word is. I'm just reading it, talking about it for a second, just reading the definition and moving on. So today's word of the day for August 20th is aghast. Aghast means shocked or upset. An example, critics were aghast at how awful the play was. Okay, aghast. That is today's word of the day. So we have talked about the intro, we've talked mileage, we've talked the fundraiser, and we have talked word of the day, guys. As you can tell, I'm getting to that point of the night where I am starting to fade mentally, just from these long days at work. It is getting hard to really focus. But we're going to try. We're going to get through it. So we are on episode 232. 232 days in a row running. 232 episodes in a row talking, trying to become a better speaker and just a better person, and talking about the things I've been working on. So this one we're going to just keep kind of to the point. Episode 232, today's theme for today's episode is set. And first reason I wanted to bring this up is because that's what I've kind of been doing this past, I went for a run, I got back probably an hour and a half ago, if not more, and I've been getting set since I got back. Instead of doing the podcast right away, I started to get set. And what I'm getting set for is tomorrow, me and a buddy of mine, we're going to go out, we're going to run the Potawatomi Trail in Pinckney, Michigan. It is a 17.1 mile loop trail, and pretty good elevation gain and loss within that trail. It's supposed to be one of the best trails in Michigan, so we're really looking forward to it. It was one of the trails I had really set to try to run within this year, because just all of the hype I've heard about it and everyone's talking about it. My family lives out there, so I'm getting ready to run that trail tomorrow. And I realized, I got to get set, and I have to get all my stuff in order, because I'm going to be getting up early, trying to carb up a little bit, get ready for the run. And I just had to get all my gear in order, make sure I'm ready, so when my buddy Nick gets here in the morning, we can just start the car up and we can head out there and go. So being set for this is so integral, and being set the definition of set, being in place or in position, or I'm looking it up right here, to lay down, to stand something in a place or position, to be situated or fixed in a place or position, um, happening in a specific time or in a specific place. When you're set, I feel like you get ready, obviously, because it's a get ready, get set, go. But when you're set, things are in order, um, you are ready for attack. You are ready to make that next move. So I've been trying to really, not just tonight, but I've been really trying to set myself up. I've been really trying to get myself set. That's why I've started doing this. That's why I've been running every single day. I have the goal of becoming an ultra runner. I ran my first, 50K. My next goal here is a 50 miler. So I'm kind of training for that. I'm trying to set myself up for that. And the main thing about setting is it just starts with goals, daily goals. This is something, it seems so basic and so duh, like, come on. But at the same time, it's something that I know that I just wasn't doing. I wasn't setting any kind of goals for myself. I didn't have any kind of daily goals. I didn't have any kind of weekly goals. I didn't have any monthly goals. I didn't have any yearly goals. And it was something I was lacking. And with me lacking it, I felt in a slump. I felt like I wasn't moving, like my life was going nowhere. I was aging. I was getting older and older and older, and everything seemed farther and farther and farther away from attaining. And it wasn't until I realized how important just to set things for yourself, to set goals for yourself, to set yourself up, to figure out what you want, how important that is, and it just started with me wanting to set myself up just for a change. Okay, like within 2 years, I want to be working a better job. I want to be making more money. I want to be somewhere where I truly want to be. So I did, and same thing with my exercising habits. I had no ambitions. I just sat around and partied all the time and did whatever I wanted and had no kind of goals, especially exercise goals. And just starting with, this year I want to start running. I want to start running with my dogs. That was what really got me to start running. Is taking my dogs out, making sure to exercise them. So that's what started me at the age of 31 to start running. Was I felt bad because I felt like I was never taking my dogs out enough, and they weren't getting enough exercise. I'd walk them here and there, but I just still felt like they needed, some exercise. So started getting out there and just started off small running, and then that turned into, hey, I'm running a little bit with the dogs, a mile. I'm barely making, 3-4 miles a week, if that. What if I try to go 10 miles a week? And it just started with even just these little weekly goals of exercising. Then I hit that, and I was like, wow, that's kind of surprising. I never thought I could do this. I never imagined I'd be able to run 10 miles a week. Let's see if I can just run a 5K, because I've ran 5Ks before in the past, but it was like run for 20 minutes and then walk a majority of it and then jog a little bit. Like, I've never fully just ran a 5K. So it wasn't until I was like, all right, let's see if I can do 3 miles in one run. So then I started doing daily goals, and then like I said, I already had the weekly goals of trying to hit 10 miles and hit that, and then starting to do daily goals on top of the weekly goals, and then all right, well, if I can do this, maybe I can get 50 miles a month. But it actually started not even 50 miles a month. I wanted to hit 100 miles before the end of the year, and I started in October 2019. I had late October, after my birthday, I started. So I had October, November, December to try to hit 100 miles. and I was able to do it. And that right there, the goal of just trying to hit 100 miles within 2.5 months and being able to do it gave me so much inspiration. It was just me setting that goal, which seems maybe impossible for a lot of people. Um, 2.5 months to run 100 miles may seem crazy, may seem impossible. But just last month in July, I ran 200 miles in 1 month. So within a 2 year frame of me setting the smallest goal for myself, I have got so much power and inspiration and drive from that, um, that now I'm setting myself goals that if you would have talked to me then, I would have never said it was possible. I would have never, ever in my head said, Scott, 2 years from now is going to be running this. Scott, 1 year from now is going to run his own little marathon. And it was after, like I said, I hit that 100 miles for that 2.5 month span that started me into the year of 2020 before COVID and all this crazy stuff hit. I had set the new goal for myself because I said, hey, I ran 100 miles in 2.5 months, and it empowered me so much that I wanted to hit 1,000 miles for the year of 2020, my first full official year running. And I set that goal, and there were so many different hardships going through that throughout that year. Just the beginning of the year, I kind of ran a little bit in the middle. In January, obviously, I'm running outside every single day. I don't have a treadmill, so it wasn't like I was going treadmilling, doing these runs ever. I've only ran outside. So I'm out there in January, not putting in miles, but not much. Late January, early February, I went out to actually Colorado for a few weeks to snowboard. So that kind of took off from the running. Got back, late February and started kind of running a little bit again because it was still cold, so I wasn't getting much in. But then it was kind of March, I really kicked back into trying to kick into gear. March, April, May, June, cranking it through. And then, had some personal things come up in August that really just like knocked me on my feet. And, just so many things happening. And eventually there was like 4 different things happening on top of my dog. One of my dogs actually got sick, and we had to actually take her and put her down in early September 10th. And that was like one of the hardest things ever on me. And I actually had set the goal not only to run 1,000 miles within that year of 2020, I had set a goal to run a marathon in October. It had gotten canceled because of COVID. It was the Detroit Free Press one. It got canceled, but me and my buddies still decided we were going to run one together in October. So I still had those plans in September. Like I said, August hit, and my dog got sick late August with 4 other different things happening all at once, and my training just completely fell off. Like I just completely just got devastated. And there was actually a point where I literally didn't think I was going to get back into running. I was getting out there maybe a mile a week, if that. And then September kind of hit. Like I said, my dog passed in September. But I think it was like kind of mid-September after that, I really tried to get that off my mind. And the best way for me to do that was to try to get back out there. And I still had planned to run the marathon with my buddy. And I told him I wasn't going to let him down by, just canceling last minute, even though my training completely fell off. But I was able to still get out there because I had set that goal for myself, and I really wanted to hit it. And I didn't let the things completely stop me, because life is going to happen. And I guess that's kind of the moral of me going through the whole entire story is you're going to set yourself goals, and they're so important to have these goals. It is so integral to have these things, because life is going to happen. Life, death and tragedy and just pain and a lot of things are going to happen throughout life. And if you don't have these goals, if you don't have these things that you have set for yourself, these responsibilities or whatever the case may be, that really gives you meaning and strength to kind of push through, and actually make the suffering a little bit more bearable, and give it a purpose. And again, not trying to take away from the suffering or anything like that, but I think it's really having goals and things set for yourself that'll carry you through the storm. If I didn't have set myself a goal and I didn't do that, I would have been in a dark place. Even if I was just running for fun, I probably would have never ran again. I know it sounds stupid, but I don't know, I just gave up. But I set these goals and I hit that goal as well. Like I said, I ran my first marathon, 5 hours and 22 minutes or something like that. And so ran that with my buddy in October. That really empowered me. And after running that, I was actually pretty far behind on mileage. November and December hit, and I needed to pump out 125 miles for November and December. I was 250 miles out from hitting my 1,000 mile mark for the year, because I really fell off in August and in September. So November and December, I needed to pump out more miles than I've ever pumped out in order to hit that 1,000 mile mark. And it came down to the wire. 3 days out, I still needed lots of miles. I think 18, and I had to run. I ran 3 10Ks. Don't quote me, because I don't really truly remember what I ran, but I just remember I had to run the last 3 days of the year of 2020 in a row, and pretty decent mileage on each of them in order to hit the 1,000 mile mark. And I did. And it was so empowering, and it sparked what we're doing right now. Me being able to hit that 1,000 mile mark, really hitting these goals that I'd set for myself that I never thought were possible, made me, I had the idea of running 365. I had the idea of, originally this podcast, the miles was 1,250. It wasn't supposed to be 1,500. For the majority of the podcasts I were doing, the goal was 1,250. It wasn't until I seen how good I was doing throughout the year that I was like, I got to up the mileage to 1,500. So I set these goals, and that's where we're at. And I got empowered by hitting the 1,000 miles for for 2020, and I wake up New Year's Day and I'm like, I'm doing this. I'm making a podcast. And it was like last minute. I always wanted to do the podcast. I had the idea throughout the whole year of 2020. It wasn't even supposed to be how it's turned out. It was just, I had a different idea for a podcast, and I had a different idea of how I wanted to challenge myself of, towards the year, yeah, maybe I can run every single day of the year. When I hit that 1,000 mile mark, I'm like, I'm doing it. And the way I'm going to stick to it is do the podcast that I've always wanted to kind of start. And life just happened, it intertwined, and this is where we're at. And setting goals for myself and trying to continuously hit them. Again, there have been plenty of failures along the way. Not every single day is a success, even though I've continued to get out there and keep the streak alive. There have been plenty of days where emotionally and physically I've just not been there. There's plenty of times I had plans to get out there and put certain miles in, wasn't able to do it. Things just weren't going my way, just even on the outside part of my life. There's been plenty of things this year where I've taken big hits. But again, this is the boat that's carrying me through the storm. It's these goals that I'm setting for myself that are giving me meaning to really push it. And the birth of my daughter here now is giving me such a big meaning to really help me push my way through life and try to bear the suffering, all the suffering that life has to give. So really setting these goals for yourself really, really, really help me out. And I think they could truly help you guys out. So the daily discipline for the day 232, it is to set. And by set, I mean literally prepare, get in position, and then even set goals for yourself, guys. Set yourself up, figure out daily goals. You should write down daily goals. You should have at least one daily goal. Like, I need to make sure I get this done every single day. And it should be something that actually benefits you. If it's reading, great. If it's exercise, great. If it's nothing, I'm not gonna get into it. If you really think it's beneficial to you, set a goal. And sometimes your goal should be something that sometimes is a struggle, because again, it should be beneficial. You're not going to always want to read every day. And if you do want to read every day, set a different goal. Set a goal of something that is going to put you through a struggle. It's going to be hard sometimes, but set those daily goals, and then set weekly goals, and then set monthly goals, and then set yearly goals. Just by doing that, I really truly believe that things can turn around for you if that is what you need. And even if it's not what you need, I think it'll still very, very well improve your life if you have not been setting goals. And if you've been setting goals, again, just try to set yourself up. So that is the daily discipline for the day 232. Other than that, I want to thank you guys so much for following along to this podcast and listening. I'm your host, Scott. This is the Defining Discipline podcast. If you guys can, please give it a like, a subscribe, a share, and a follow on our Facebook, our Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and whatever podcast streaming platform you've been listening along on. Other than that, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 233. Peace.